Hello. You know that phrase, it's like arguing with insanity. We all know somebody that we argue with that just literally cannot get the point, and it is like arguing with insanity. It feels like that with this Labour government. Bear with, because in this video, I've got all of the disconnected thinking that's happening just today in the Labour Party and how it's going to affect you and me and everyone. So please like, subscribe, and share. So a quick flick through the socials shows you all the headlines that Labour are proud of versus what's actually happening in the country. So we start with the charging cables. Now, Keir Starmer says having a garage or not having access to a garage or a driveway shouldn't preclude you from having an electric car. Okay. But Rachel Reeves taxing us out of existence does preclude us from having an electric car because we can't afford it. Plus, lots of us don't want them because we don't like the electric technology. But he's saying you shouldn't have to have a garage or a driveway to have one. So he's going to put loads of cables under pavements. Who's going to pay for it? Who's going to pay to put the cables under the pavements? Where's that money coming from? Because last time I checked, we didn't have enough money to fund the NHS or the education system or the pensioners or the farmers. Tough choices were being made left, right and centre, but we are laying the proverbial cable under pavements for people to charge electric cars that they can't afford. That they can't afford the electricity bill to charge the electric car because we're all being priced out of the electricity market because the prices are going up and our wages aren't going up enough to keep them because there's nothing in our back pockets because Rachel Reeves has nicked it all. So who's going to pay for the cables? And whose cars are they going to charge? And where is this going to be? I mean, is this going to be a nationwide thing? Do we honestly think that some of the poorest areas in this country are going to be clapping their hands and saying, yay, put some electric cables under our pavements? Or are they going to be saying, we'd like actually some more free school meals for our kids, or we'd like an NHS system that works. We'd actually just like to be able to afford the heating and the food. I sort of feel it's going to be the latter. And then we talk about free school meals. So again, the left hand isn't talking to the right hand. It costs £3.45p to produce a school meal. Schools get given a budget of £2.58. So it costs £3.45. They're given £2.58 and they've just had an increase in that budget. Do you know how much they've just been given extra for that meal? 3p. So where are they going to get the money from for that? Where is the money going to come from to provide the school meal? But we're giving out free breakfasts at breakfast clubs for kids that don't need it. And those are 60p each. So we've committed to giving more children breakfasts that don't need the breakfasts, but we're cutting funding in school meals and free school meals, and schools are taking money for food out of education budgets. Anyone? And then we've got the amount of schools that have closed in the independent sector. 44,000 schools so far have closed in the independent sector. We need to find places for 54,000 more children on top of the projected 47,000 children that needed new school places. So we've got 100,000 children that need places, but we've closed 44 schools. And in the secondary schools, we haven't got places for them. So where are they going to go? And who's going to pay for them? Because they were paying into their taxes. Their parents were paying tax for their children to have a state school place, but they weren't using that state school place. So some of that money would have been going towards the hot meal for a child or the breakfast for a child or a teaching assistant. Some of that money would have been going into education. But now we've got 54,000 children who are going to use that money because they're coming back into the state system. So who's going to fund it? Where are the places? Who's going to pay for it? But it's all right because we're putting electric cables under pavements for cars that no one can afford to either buy or run, or in fact nobody wants. Now, and we're living under this. The people making these decisions are running the country. The cat could do it better.